Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
This is Mr. Chris Claremont, a legend.
Melanie goes,
Tired.
how's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. Today is our monthly budget meeting. That's right, it's time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. We are going to be talking about the books, the collected editions, graphic novels, manga, omnis, absolute editions, epic collections, DC Finest, everything in the world of the collected edition that is coming out in July of 2025. We've got 5 weeks. Woohoo! So let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. Before I go any further, a big thank you to our patrons for making videos like this possible. Could not be doing this without you all. And a big shout out to my buddy Dom of X, even though he's super busy with school, summer school, that guy is double doing it. He still was able to help me out with the images and putting the documentation together, and that is a huge blessing. Gives me time to work on other videos, so a big thank you to my buddy Dom of X, who has his own channel, which you should be checking out. And also a big thank you to all of you that have been watching this video for years now. This was an experimental video I did for fun because I had been recording this stuff for myself to kind of budget myself every month. And I was thinking one day, oh, well, let me see if anybody else is interested in seeing something like this. And sure enough of you were, and you keep coming back. So a big thank you to all of you that have been watching and sharing the videos, of course. All right, we've got 5 weeks. Woohoo! 5 weeks! My goodness, this is gonna be a long one. All right, we got this. We got this, Uncanny Omar. If you want the written documentation, that can be found on our Patreon. All right, let's go ahead and start with the first week of July of 2025. And as always, dates are always subject to change, so keep that in mind. From the world of Marvel Comics, the week of July 1st or 2nd, we have Captain America Epic Collection, The Swine. This is collecting Captain America issues 201 to 221 and annuals 3 and 4. This is, of course, the rest of the Jack the King Kirby era and an Epic Collection. This has been collected before in many trade paperbacks, also in an omnibus format, but now it is getting the Epic treatment. 448 pages, $49.99. It's not the only Epic Collection because we're also getting the Daredevil Modern Era Epic Collection, The Devil in Cell Block D. I love this story. This is collecting the Ed Brubaker era, collecting Daredevil 82 to 94, and annual number 1. Michael Lark will be joining him for this run, 376 pages, and it is a Modern Era Epic Collection. This one retails for $49.99. The Immortal Thor Volume 4, The Son of Thor. This is by Al Ewing, Jan Bazaldua, and Alex Ross applying all the covers, collecting Immortal Thor 16 through 20, 120 pages, $15.99. I think one of my viewers, maybe it was a few of my viewers, told me that this series was ending and it was going to be revamped. By all means, please let me know in the comments down below if you know that to be true. Spider-Boy Volume 3, The Dragon's Challenge. I did hear when that this one, it was finished with issue 16, so this is the final volume, and it is by Dan Slott and Paco Medina, and yes, there is some sadness in my voice. I really like this series. You know, anytime we get comics like this, like Spider-Boy, Spider-Girl, whatever, you know, I'm like, who cares? And then I end up really liking the story after reading it, and I've really enjoyed this. Kind of remind me of the early stuff that Dan Slott was doing on Spider-Man. $17.99, 136 pages. We are also getting the Fantastic Four Omnibus Volume 1. This is the 4th printing, in case you missed the previous printings. It does have new material in here. About, I want to say I did a video on it, and I can't remember if it's, I think it's about 40 or something plus pages that was added to this of the back matter. And collecting issues 1 through 30 and Fantastic Four annual number 1. The book has 928 pages this time around, $125. And I have done an overview of that book, as well as the Strike Force Morituri Omnibus that is coming out this month. This is an all-in-one 1,080 pages, $125. Collecting Strike Force Morituri 1 through 31. And then the Electric Undertow, the 5-issue miniseries that was done in like this prestige format. 1,080 pages, $125. Done by the late Peter B. Gillis, James Hudnall, who also passed away a few years back. I know that Peter B. Gillis saw the announcement of this Omni, but he didn't get to see the finished product. It always breaks my heart when a creator doesn't see his work collected in like a big book like this. Brant Anderson, of course, doing a lot of the artwork in here, but also Mark Bagley and some early Whilce Portacio. I'm a big fan of this book, so hopefully people will check it out. Again, you don't need to read anything before it or afterwards. It stands on its own. What If? Galactus. So this is collecting What If Galactus transformed the Hulk, transformed Gambit, transformed Moon Knight, transformed Rogue, transformed Spider-Gwen into what I assume his heralds. This is the last book on my stack to read for the following week. So I'm assuming they're going to be, just based on that cover by Ryan Brown, they're going to be his heralds. Done by various creators, including Matt Groom and Lan Medina. From the world of DC Comics, we are kicking it off with Batman Detective Comics Volume 1, Mercy of the Father. Now we are beginning the Tom Taylor era with Mikael Janning on artwork here. This is collecting Detective Comics 1090 to 1096. And this one is $29.99. Interesting enough, this will also be released in a trade paperback edition if you want it just a little bit cheaper. The standard size hardcover is 184 pages and $29.99. The trade paperback is $19.99. Same content, same dimensions. It's just the standard size hardcover. And Catwoman Volume 1, Who is Selena Kyle? This is collecting Catwoman 69 through 74. That number was restarted in the Rebirth era. And it is by friend of the channel, my buddy Torun Grombeck, writing these stories, and illustrated by Fabiana Mascolo. $17.99, 160 pages. And DC Finest, Wonder Woman, The Legend of Wonder Woman is coming out, collecting Wonder Woman 306 to 329, DC Presents 76, the Blue Devil number 10, and Legend of Wonder Woman 1 through 4. So we are looking at the 1980s. This is by Trina Robbins, Kurt Busiek doing some of the stuff in here, and Dan Mishkin and Don Heck. $39.99, 632 pages. The Deceased Omnibus is coming out, so all of the Tom Taylor stories are collected in one big Omni here. Collecting Deceased 1 through 6, A Good Day to Die number 1, Dead Planet 1 through 7, Unkillables 1 through 3, Hope at World's End 1 through 15, and War of the Undead Gods 1 through 8. What happens when the DC universe is infected by zombies? This is the book, set in an alternate reality. 1040, you can even see the Elseworlds logo. 1,040 pages, $125. Nightwing by Dan Waters, Volume 1, On with the Show. Another book that will be released as both a standard size hardcover and a trade paperback. The trade paperback is $17.99, the standard size hardcover $24.99, collecting Nightwing 119 to 124. This is the Dan Waters era with Dexter Soy on art. So this is after the Tom Taylor era. Superman, Good Guy Gang is coming out. This is a little graphic novel, so it's a digest-sized book. And that is an original story coming out. The Authority Omnibus Volume 1 coming back to print. This is collecting The Authority by Warren Ellis and Mark Miller. You have Brian Hitch, Frank Quitely, Dustin Wynn, and Tom Payer on art. And 984 pages, $125. This is the 2025 edition. And The Authority Relentless Compact. This is a DC Compact Comics edition. So this is 360 pages, $9.99. This is the Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch era after they turned Stormwatch into The Authority. So kicking it off with The Authority. From the world of Image Comics, we are getting the art of Top Cow. And this is really interesting because it's both being released as a hardcover, standard size hardcover, and a trade paperback. Invincible Volume 10, continuing reprinting the series with a new edition, and I think that is a new cover. And the Old Guard, the Immortal Edition, is coming out, collecting the Old Guard 1 through 5, and the sequel Force Multiplied 1 through 5. This one is $39.99, and it is Greg Rucka. And I want to say that this is probably to do with the Netflix show. I think we have the second movie that is coming out in July, if I'm not mistaken. Please let me know in the comments down below. Spawn Misery is coming out in a trade paperback format, and that is by Todd McFarlane is writing this, and working with Simon Kudransky and Co. Plasenska. And this is collecting Misery 1 through 4. So this is Cian. It's the story of Wanda's daughter. Grown up there. Man, I feel old. Spawn, Sam, and Twitch coming out in a compendium format. I want to say this was previously announced for another month, but it looks like there was some delays. From the world of Dark Horse Comics, we are getting Madman in an omnibus format. If you've never read Madman and you did not want to get the library editions, Dark Horse has made it more affordable. It's the same material, all 680 pages, just in a softcover format and a standard trade paperback trim size. $49.99, and it does collect the original Madman series 1 through 3, Madman Adventures 1 through 3, Madman Comics 1 through 10, and some of the first or early Mike Allred comics from they, lots of pinups, and then of course not just pinups from Mike Allred, but also Jack Kirby, Mobius, Frank Frazetta, people that are no longer here with us. It's crazy just to name some of these creators that do pinups here. Dr. Worthless. This is by Harold Skexter and Eric Powell. It's an original graphic novel, and it is the story of Dr. Frederick Wordham and the seduction of the innocent. So I started reading this a couple of weeks ago, but then I got sidetracked reading another book, and it is phenomenal. I'm a big fan of just the history behind the comics, but also a huge fan of Eric Powell. So really excited for this one. It is a smaller trim size though. $29.99, 200 pages. Also from Dark Horse Comics, Tomb Raider, The Colossal Collection Volume 1, collecting issues 1 through 24 and 26 through 34. In here, you're going to find the work of Dan Jurgens and Adam Hughes and Andy Park, Mark Silvestri, David Finch, and Michael Turner. We do have a Volume 2 that is coming out later this year. I believe it's coming out in November. And if you're wondering why this doesn't have issue number 25, that was the crossover with Top Cow, like other comics like Witchblade. Star Wars The High Republic Adventures Phase 3, Dispatches from the Occlusion Zone. So this is collecting the High Republic Adventures Phase 3, issues 1 through 4, 96 pages, $19.99. From the world of Boom Studios, we are getting the Amory Wars. Almost said Armory Wars. The Amory Wars No World for Tomorrow, Volume 2, Good Apollo on Burning Star 4. This is by Claudio Sanchez and Chandra Kert and Guillaume Martinez, $17.99, collecting issues 5 through 8 of that series. And from the world of IDW, we're getting Carmopolis, Book 1, The Land of Cars. And now we are going to be looking at some manga coming out that week. At Your Service in Another World, Volume 2 is coming out from the world, or the folks over at Steamship Comics. BL Game Rebirth is coming out from Seven Seas Entertainment. That one is $14.99, and it is a Volume 1. Blue Box, Volume 16 is coming out that week from Viz. And also, The Blue Exorcist, continuing that series. That is Volume 31. H.P. Lovecraft's The Color of... Oh no, it is The Color Out of Space. And this is a manga adaptation, of course. And this one here is a digest or tankobon size. It is $14.99, and it is done by the phenomenal Go Tanabe. And again, it's not a deluxe edition like we've had his other work collected, or at least one of them. But this one is a digest size. So I'd love to see more of Go Tanabe's art in a big deluxe edition. And we're also getting My Best Friend is an Eldritch horror light novel. And my special one, Volume 10, is coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks at Viz. We're getting the One Piece Volume 109. My gosh, I love that this series is still keeping up with the Japanese release. But also just people still interested in the series. It hasn't I don't think the excitement has died down any. I still think people are still loving it. And $11.99. Pink Candy Kiss is coming out that week from the folks over at Viz. And we're also getting the Tamori's Fantasies Never Stop. This is a volume 2 coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks over at Ghost Ship. And, right. What am I talking about here? $14.99. Right? Tatsu Waipu is the mangaka behind that book. Alright. Tamon's B-Side, Volume 8 is coming out that very same week from the folks over at Viz. And Vel, Volume 2. This is being published by the wonderful folks at Udon, and it is beautiful. We are also getting the Nues Exorcist, Volume 1, coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks over at Viz. I love that in Japan, they just keep cranking out more and more different manga. It's just crazy that they don't slow down over there either. As much as we talk about the well-oiled monthly single issue machine here that we have in America, in Japan there's anthologies and magazines and tankobons just coming out all the time. Sanctified Lost Paradise is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks over at Tokyo Pop, so it must be one of those print on demand. And Tokyo Revengers, the full color edition. Oh, I didn't know they were doing a full color edition. I do like this series. Tokyo Revengers is coming out in a full color edition from the folks at Seven Seas Entertainment. This is collecting issues, the Tankobon 1 and 2. Brilliant full color edition by Ken Wakui. $29.99. It's not a hardcover, but it is in color. And What It Means to Be You, Volume 1, is coming out that very same week. We're also seeing Ultra Heaven, Volume 3. And that's coming out from the folks over at Last Gasp. That one is $24.99. And that is by Keiichi Koike. I love seeing his name come back. I didn't know that this was a new series that he was working on. From other publishers, we're getting A Guest in the House coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks over at 23rd Street. This is by E.M. Carroll and $19.99. We are getting Asterix Collector's Edition, the hardcover Volume 3, Asterix and the Goths. That series is now being published by the folks over at Paper Cuts and been killing it over there. Batcat Volume 3, Cooking Contest, is coming out that same week. And that's being published by the folks over at Abrams Fanfare. We are getting the Bone Deluxe Edition, Part 1, The Valley. This one is $60, and it is being published by Cartoon Books, Jeff Smith's publishing company. And there is a slipcase edition, so it's like a softcover book, and it goes into the slipcase edition. I believe this was a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter was a hardcover. Dick Tracy Volume 2 is coming out this week from the world of Mad Cave Studios, and I'm a big fan of this book, man. I love that first volume. It blew me away. I thought it was great. Disconnect is coming out, and that is being published by the folks at Black Panel Press. That is a hardcover. EC's Cruel Universe Trade Paperback Volume 1 is coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks over at Oni Press. It's done by various creators. That cover there is by Greg Smallwood. This collects the first 5 issues, and it is $19.99, and I'm super excited for that series. Flash Gordon, The Girl from Infinity, hardcover trade paperback is coming out, and that is a Volume 1. And Float is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Graphics. That's coming out in a hardcover for $24.99 and a softcover for $16.99. We are getting the Cool Keith, The Flower Cosmic, coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks over at Z2 Comics, and it looks to be a digest-sized book. We're getting the Mandrake, the Magician, the Complete Dailies, Volume 4, from 1939 to 1941. I know of Mandrake and Flash Gordon because I used to be a huge fan of Defenders of the Earth. Although I did watch the early 80s or late 70s Flash Gordon cartoon growing up. But same. Marok the Mighty is coming out that very same week, and that is a trade paperback, and being published by the folks at Rebellion 2000 AD. And we're getting Mercy Sparks. Oh, they're finally releasing this to the public. Okay. Mercy Sparks is coming out in an Omnibus format as a Volume 1 and a Volume 2 coming out that week. Miss Camper is coming out that very same week, and that's being published by the folks at Graphics. And we are getting the Night Eaters Volume 3. Their Kingdom Come. That's being published by the folks at Abrams Comics Arts. And Pushing Buttons, the Futuristic Workplace Kerfuffle hardcover is coming out that very same week. We are getting the Octavia Butler Parable of Talents, and that is a hardcover. So it is Octavia Butler's Parable of Talents, a graphic novel adaptation by Damian Duffy and John Jennings. $25.99, and this is being published by the folks at Abrams Comics Arts. SpongeBob SquarePants Mysteries! Find a Missing Star. This is a softcover that is coming out that week. And we are getting the Strange Tale of Panorama Island coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks at Last Gasp. This is by Suehiro Maruo and Edogawa Rampo. And $24.99. Free Piano Not Haunted is coming out from Simon & Schuster's. This is by Whitney Gardner. $13.99. Sunny Figures It Out is coming out in a graphic novel format, and that is being published by the folks over at Graphics. Terry and the Pirate. Oh, this is the Terry and the Pirates Master Collection, Volume 11. These are beautiful books that right now Clover Press is publishing these. These are huge books of Terry and the Pirates, and Milton Caniff's artwork in this format. I'm just from videos that Curtis, my buddy Curtis Finlay, has shown. It's just amazing. I don't know if they've reprinted the first few, but yeah, it's something that I'm like, should I get into it? I mean, I do love Prince Valiant and Flash Gordon of that era. This is $100, and this is containing the 1945 dailies and Sundays, now being printed at Clover Press. Thinking About Thinking Impossible Thoughts is coming out. I love that title. Thinking About Thinking Impossible Thoughts is coming out that very same week. And we are also getting Unico hardcover Volume 2 Hunted. That is being published by the folks over at Abrams. Or no, this is actually Graphics. This was publishing this book. I love Unico, and I'm glad that we're getting more and more Unico. By the way, this book is done by Samuel Satine. Gurihiru does the artwork. Of course, all of it based on the master Osamu Tezuka. But it is done by Gurihiru if you are a fan of Gurihiru's artwork, like in Jeff the Landshark. Winx Club, Volume 4. Thinking of my buddy Bar. I know that she loves the Winx Club, but it is coming out in a trade paperback format, and it is a Volume 2. The week of July 8th or 9th, from Marvel Comics, we kick it off with Conquest 2099, collecting all 5 issues of the miniseries by Steve Orlando and Ibrahim Robertson. This is $17.99, 136 pages. And we do get the first appearance of the 2099 version of Webweaver, White Widow, Ghost Spider, Madam Web, and Spider-Side. Deadpool Epic Collection Agent X is coming out. This is collecting Deadpool 65 through 69. And then when the series was changed, the title was changed to Agent X 1 through 15. And this is by Gail Simone doing a lot of the work here. But this is the first time I remember seeing Alvin Lee and the folks over at Udon Studios supplying the artwork. Evan Dorkin doing some of the fill-in issues. And Juan Bobillo doing some of the artwork as well. 496 pages, $50 or $54.99. Micronauts Epic Collection, the original Marvel years they came from inner space. This is collecting Micronauts 1 through 20, annual number 1, and by Bill Mantlo and Michael Golden. Howard Chaykin, of course, doing some of the artwork. And oh my gosh, if you've never read this, so good. $49.99, 456 pages. Psylocke Volume 1, Guardian. This is by Alyssa Wong and Vincenzo Caratu. This is collecting Psylocke 1 through 5. It has 120 pages and retailing for $17.99. Sentinels Necessary Monsters by Alex Packnadel and Justin Mason. Collecting Sentinels 1 through 5 and $17.99, 120 pages. Spider-Man by Michelini and Bagley, Omnibus Volume 2. Collecting Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 376 to 393. Amazing Spider-Man Annuals 27 and 28. Web of Spider-Man 101 and 103, 112. 35. Adjectives of Spider-Man 35 through 37, 45. Spectacular Spider-Man 201 and 203, and 211. And Amazing Spider-Man Ashcan Edition number 1. Plus Venom Lethal Protector 1 through 6 and material from Spider-Man Unlimited 1 and 2. The book has 1,112 pages, $125. Star Wars Ewoks coming out. I love this. My buddy Peter told me, Crushing Crisis, that apparently they talk in this book. So it's very reminiscent of the old Ewoks comic or the old cartoon. So you can understand them. $17.99. 112 pages by Steve Orlando and Alvaro Lopez. X-Men Onslaught Aftermath Omnibus. Both covers available the same day. Collecting Uncanny X-Men 338 to 340. Uncanny X-Men Annuals 96 and 97. X-Men, that's adjectiveless X-Men 58 through 61. X-Men Annual 97. X-Men Unlimited 12 through 15. X-Factor 1 through 30. Or I'm sorry, X-Factor 130. Magneto 1 through 4. That is the Kelly Jones Magneto. That's hot. Okay, that has been collected in a trade paperback. I was trying to think of it. Has it been collected? This stuff has been collected. Most of it. XSE 1 through 4, Beast 1 through 3, Juggernaut number 1, and then material from Marvel Holiday Special number 1. 848 pages, $100. And from the world of DC Comics, we're getting a reprint, a 2025 edition of Absolute League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And that one is $100, collecting the same material as the previous printing. Alan Moore and the late Kevin O'Neill, 416 pages, $100. Batman and Robin Volume 1, Memento. This is the Philip Kennedy Johnson stories, collecting Batman and Robin 14 through 19. And it is drawn by Javi Fernandez, $19.99, 160 pages. DC Finest, Justice Society of America, The Plunder of the Psycho Pirate. Back to the All-Star Comics, collecting issues 13 through 24. And Gardner Fox, Joe Gallagher, and Stan Ashmeyer. And 608 pages, $39.99. Flex Mentallo, Man of Muscle Mystery Deluxe Edition. This is the new printing, the 2025 edition. This is one of my favorite standalone graphic novels. You don't need to have read Doom Patrol by Grant Morrison. And it's got great artwork in here from Frank Quitely. So if you've never read it, it's not been collected in anything. I mean, it's been collected in trade, but it's not been collected in an omnibus format. Speaking of Omni, oh yes, John Constantine Hellblazer by Jaime Delano. Volume 2, this is the omnibus that collects the remaining issues that Jaime Delano worked on, and that is Hellblazer 23 through 40, issue 84, 250, the Horrorist 1 and 2 miniseries, the Hellblazer Special Bad Blood 1 through 4, and the Vertigo Secret Files Hellblazer number 1. So, a lot of new behind-the-scene extras here. 960 pages, $99.99. Love seeing that show up. Poison Ivy by G. Willow Wilson, coming out both in a standard size hardcover format and a trade paperback. Standard size hardcover, $29.99, and the trade paperback is $19.99. Poison Ivy, 25 through 30. Both of them have 184 pages. Superman! DC is pumping out these omnis! Woo! It is. It definitely is time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. Supergirl, the New 52 Omnibus. Mahmoud Asrar and Michael Green, Mike Johnson, working on this book. $125 for 824 pages of Red Lanterns 29. Supergirl 0 through... That can't be... Is that 0 through 40? 820... I don't have the book, so I think I was looking at a different... So that might be wrong on the page count, but let's keep going through the content. Supergirl 0 through 40, Green Lantern, Green Lantern, Red Lanterns 28, and Action Comics featuring Cyborg, Superman 231, and Supergirl Futures End. So this is the Supergirl from the New 52 era. And there is a reason why the Red Lanterns are included in there. And if you've watched my overview, yeah, you know why. Superman, The Last Days of Lex Luthor. Love saying it like that. Mark Waid joining back up with Brian Hitch for this Black Label line right here. Kevin Nolan. Oh, damn, Kevin Nolan. 168 pages, $29.99. It is a hardcover. From the world of Image Comics, we're getting Gromit's trade paperback. Now, it will have two covers. It will have the direct market cover. It's a Brett Parsons cover. Both of them are Brett Parsons covers, but the direct market cover is only available through your local comic book store or online retailers. And the Maddie trade paperback is also coming out that very same week. And that is by Duncan Jones and Alex DeCampi. This was, I think, a Kickstarter a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, a few years back. And now it is available in a trade paperback edition for $19.99. So in case you haven't read it and you've always wanted to read it just because you've been intrigued with the type of artwork, absolutely pick that up just in case you haven't had a chance to read it before. And from the world of Dark Horse Comics, we are getting the Blue Book Library edition coming out that week. That is the stories by James Tynion IV. And it has been collected in two trade paperbacks. This one is 272 pages, $49.99. And also coming out that very same week is the Real Ghostbusters, a visual history. The deluxe edition is coming out that week. And not the only art book or visual history, God of War, the 20th anniversary retrospective is coming out. And there's two versions of it available. From Boom Studios, we're getting Zombie Tales, the complete collection, coming out that very same week. And that is being, I think, oh, it is a trade paperback, sorry. $19.99. And from the world of IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution is coming out that week. And this is a follow-up to the last... Now, Last Ronin has had a spin-off series. By the way, I think it's all going to be collected at the end of the year in a big format, like a big omnibus format. So, very excited for that. And I know a lot of my viewers that love Last Ronin are excited for it too. But if you don't want to wait, this is the follow-up series. And who are those turtles in the background? 232 pages, $34.99. It is Kevin Eastman. It is Tom Waltz joining back up. And a couple of other artists in here, like the Escorza brothers and Ben Bishop. Luis Antonio Delgado working on the book. We are also getting the Neil Adams DC Classics Artist Edition. There are 2 covers for this particular book. There is the Batman version, which has that big, beautiful piece right there, Batman and Robin with Ra's al Ghul, how else is it pronounced? Anyway, and then cover B, which features another classic story right here with Green Lantern, Green Arrow, and that is the Green Lantern version. Both covers are $150 each, but have the same material. And we are getting from Titan Comics, Blade Runner 2039, the trade paperbacks 1 through 3. It's a slipcase edition. Dead Space Volume 2 Salvage is coming out that week from Titan. Death Sentence, the complete collection, is coming out that week. There is a regular edition by Martin Simmons, and then the direct market cover, also done by Martin Simmons. Both coming out that very same week. This is by Montinero and Mike Dowling, collecting Death Sentences Volumes 1 through 3. That one is $49.99. Downlands hardcover is coming out that week, and that is an original graphic novel. And we are getting the Hagar the Horrible. The first, why did I say it like that? Uncanny Omar Tuck Pretty One Day. Hagar the Horrible. There we go. The first 50 years. That's awesome. I didn't know that they were printing this. That's very, very looking forward to that. And King Conan is coming out. Both the regular edition and a direct market cover available the same day. This has been printed before by Marvel Comics, but this is the only volume that they did. There were following volumes they were going to do, but now Titan's going to do them. This is collecting issues 119 of King Conan and $125. So, yeah, collecting the first 19 issues. We are getting the Minky Woodcock, The Girl Called Cthulhu, and that is coming out in a hardcover format. And that cover is absolutely stunning. That is by Selena. This is by Cynthia Von Buer, and $24.99, collecting the first 4 issues of The Girl Called Cthulhu. We are getting, oh, wait, is that right? Savage Sword of Conan, the original comics omnibus, volume 5, coming out that week as well. Okay, so, wow, 2 Conan omnis coming out. This, of course, has been previously collected by Marvel, but now this is Titan's printing of it. From the world of manga, we are getting Atom, The Beginning. And, of course, that is a retelling of the phenomenal Astro Boy by Osamu Tezuka. Case Closed is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks over at Viz, and this is a volume 94, getting ever so close to that volume 100. Cosmic Censorship volume 1 is coming out that week, and that is a volume 1 of 5. Dope Man volume 2 coming out that week. Did I make a joke about Ice Cube, NWA? I think I did, probably. Yeah, you all know. I'm not saying it again. Emma and Capuchin hardcover volume 2 is coming out that week. And that, yeah, they don't they don't really do a lot of hardcovers, and that is a volume 2. Feisty Omega and His Twin Mates, volume 1 is coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks at Seven Seas Entertainment. And we're also getting the Firefly Wedding volume 3 coming out that week, and that's being published by Viz. We're getting the Haberdashery Ginmokuse volume 1 coming out that week. And I want to say that one was supposed to be out last month. We're getting The Outsiders volume 1 coming out that very same week, as well as Sex Drive, and that is being published by the folks at Steamship. We're getting Sleepy Princess in Demon Castle volume 28 by Viz, and Tebeki Honeymoon volume 1 is coming out that very same week, published by the folks at One Piece Books. The Therapy Game Restart is coming out from the folks at Sublime. And Sumiki Ogami's Not So Ordinary Life volume 1 from Viz coming out that week. As well as Ultraman Along Came a Spider volume 1 coming out that week. And Working for God in a Godless World is coming out that week. As well as the Yaiba Samurai Legend volume 1 and Yan volume 1 coming out that week. Memen and Mori is coming out in a hardcover. And from other publishers, we're getting the Bazaar volume 1 Mirror Town, Crabgrass Comic Adventure, World is Lava, Digital Lizards of Doom volume 4 is coming out, Fat Cat Rogers, Disney Fairies 4-in-1 hardcover volume 4 is coming out. Gotcha Man from the World of Mad Cave Studios is coming out with a volume 2. And Hate Revisited is coming out from the World of Fanic Graphics. So, this is by Peter Bosch and $19.99. We are getting the Hero Trade Hero for Sale trade paperback coming out that very same week. From the folks at Living the Line, we're getting Matt Battaglia's House on Fire. This is $16, and it is a trade paperback edition. Hunter Ninja Bear is coming out from Chuck Dixon and Mel Ruby. This was a Kickstarter at one time, but now it's being published by Phenom Comics, $29.99. Jughead's Time Police is coming out from Cena Grace and Derek Charm, published by Archie Comics, $14.99. Drawing Quarterly is publishing Land of Mirrors by Maria Madam, $29.99 that week. Aftershock Comics coming back with the Lost City Explorers. There's a name I don't see that often anymore. The publisher, Aftershock Comics. There for a while, they were just kicking butt, printing so many books. Just, my goodness. They're also doing Mary Shelley's Monster Hunter Volume 1 that week. So, pretty cool. That's by Adam Glass and Olivia Cuartero Briggs, $14.99. Motor Girl Omnibus, the soft cover is coming back out with a new printing. If you've never read it, this is by Terry Moore, who did Strangers in Paradise, and it is absolutely a delight. Into the Bewilderness is coming out from Harper Alley. Meat Eaters trade paperback is coming out that very same week, as well as the Miraculous Ladybug Chibi Summer Special hardcover. We are getting Second Shift coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks at Avery Hill Publishing. Rogue Trooper, the Complete Collection Volume 2 is coming out that very same week. And this is published by the wonderful folks over at Rebellion 2000 AD. Sherlock Holmes and the Empire Builders hardcover Volume 1, The Genie, is coming out in a new... Oh, it's a new printing. Okay, so this hardcover has been previously printed before. And we are also getting the Smurfs Village. This is hardcover Volume 4, A New Beginning. Now, if you're interested in any of the books I've talked about so far and you live in Canada, check out our first sponsor. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels. They have a physical storefront in Montreal, Quebec, and their website, bdcosmos.com, offers 25% off your order of over $99 or more, and free shipping everywhere in Canada for every order of $250 or more.
Their shipping care is exceptional. Your books will stay cozy through the rough Canadian weather and arrive to you in near mint condition.
After checkout, let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way, and you'll be added to the monthly $25 gift card raffle. Entries are valid for new and returning customers.
Don't be afraid to call or email them. Ask them questions. Their staff is always happy to help guide you towards the right purchase. Visit their website, bdcosmos.com, for more. BD Cosmos, with rewards and raffles taking care of customers in Canada.
Week of July 15th or 16th from Marvel Comics, Agent Venom, or Agent Omnibus. We are looking at Amazing Spider-Man 654 to B-Story 654.1, Venom 1 through 42, 13.1 through 13.4, 27.1, Space Knight 1 through 13, Minimum Carnage Alpha 1, Scarlet Spider, can't even talk, 10 through 11, and Minimum Carnage Omega number 1. This book has 1,464 pages and retails for $150. Will it make it to my top 10? I'll probably do top 13 because it is a long 5 weeks. Yeah, probably. Alien Black, White, and Blood coming out in a trade paperback format. All 4 issues collected in this book. 136 pages, $17.99. It has been collected in a Treasury edition before. Iron Man Modern Era Epic Collection, the New Iron Age, collecting Invincible Iron Man 500, 500.1, 501 to 509, Invincible Iron Man Annual 1, Fear Itself 7.3, and that's 7.3 Iron Man is what it's called. This book has 408 pages, $49.99. Marvel Masterworks Captain America Volume 17. This is collecting Captain America 281 to 289, Annual number 7, and the Falcon 1 through 4. We are looking at the J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Zeck era of Captain America, but we also have Christopher Priest and Mark Bright in here. 368 pages, $75. Mystique, Most Wanted. This is by Declan Shalvey, and collecting the 5-issue miniseries. I think it was 5-issue miniseries. I don't think it went on past 5 issues. 128 pages, $17.99. Namor, Last King of Atlantis, collecting Jason Aaron's and Paul Davidson's run on this book. Issues 1 through 8. 264 pages, $34.99. Scarlet Witch by Steve Orlando, continuing with a volume 5. Amaranth Rising, collecting Scarlet Witch issues 6 through 10. And this one is 112 pages, $15.99. Star Wars Legends, The Rebellion, Omnibus Volume 3. Collecting Star Wars Shadow Stalker 1, Rebel Heist 1 through 4, A Valentine's Story 1, Classic Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back 1 and 2, Shadows of the Empire 1 through 6, Shadows of the Empire mini comic 1 and 2, Tales from Mos Eisley 1, Bounty Hunter Scoundrel's Wages 1 shot, The Return of the Jedi from Classic Star Wars, Classic Star Wars, oh no, it is Classic Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Tag and Bink Are Dead number 2, Star Wars Tag and Bink 2 number 1, Sergio Aragonés Stomp Star Wars number 1, Star Wars Infinities The Empire Strikes Back 1 through 4, Star Wars Infinities The Return of the Jedi 1 through 4, and material from Star Wars Kids 12, Star Wars Visionaries, Star Wars Tales 2, 4 through 8, 10, 12, 15 through 17, and 20. The book has 1,032 pages and retails for $125. So glad that this is back and in print, because gosh, these trade paperbacks were ridiculous. U.S. Avengers, part of the U.S. Avengers series. This is collecting issues of Al Ewing's U.S. Avengers 1 through 12. If you haven't read it, oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm hoping one day they'll do a New Avengers by Al Ewing with his U.S. Avengers. And hell, throw in the Ultimates in there and you got yourself a big thickie. 272 pages, $34.99. Paco Medina and Paco Diaz are the artists on that book during this era. From the world of DC Comics, we have Batman War Games Omnibus coming out that very same week, collecting Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 182 to 184. By now, it's Legends of the Dark Knight are not taking place in the past. They are taking place at current day. Batman 631 to 634, 642 to 644. Batman Detective Comics 790 to 800, 809 to 812. Robin 126 to 131. Nightwing 96 through 98. Gotham Knights 56 through 58. Batgirl 53. Oh, Cassandra Cain, man. Your number one most wanted. DC Omni 55 through 57. Catwoman 34 through 36. Solo number 10. Batman Allies Secret Files 2005 number 1. Batman the 12th Cent Adventure number 1. And Batman Villains Secret Files 2005 number 1. 1120 pages, $125. DC Finest getting weird, and I love it. With science fiction, the Guerrilla World coming out, collecting material from Action Comics 183 to 196, Strange Adventures 35 through 48, and Mystery in Space 16 through 22. Shade the Changing Man by Peter Milligan and Chris Bachalo. Omnibus Volume 1, collecting Shade the Changing Man 1 through 27. And this one is 992 pages, $125. Superman Batman, the DC Compact Comics Edition, collecting the first 12 issues, which also introduces us to the new Supergirl. So this is the work of Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness, and also Michael Turner, the late Michael Turner's artwork through the second story arc in here. And we're also getting the Superman Action Comics this is Phantoms by Wade and Clayton Henry. This is collecting Action Comics 1070 to 1081. And this particular book has 272 pages and retails for $24.99. Mariko Tamaki doing some of the work in here too. Wonder Woman by George Perez, Volume 2. This is the 2025 edition, and it has 288 pages, $29.99. From the world of Image Comics, we are getting the Doll Parts, A Lovesick Tale, coming out that week. This is collecting Doll Parts 1 through 6, $17.99, by the Russ Manning award-winning Luana Vecchio, working on this book. And we are also getting the Letter 44 Compendium, so all of Letter 44 collected in one thick trade paperback. And Snot Girl coming back with a Volume 4. I know my buddy Wonder Maddie, who is returning back to Old Reader, New Reader in July. She's got every Tuesday in July at 8 p.m. Eastern Time booked, including the return of Amanda and I talking about with Lynn's. What book are we talking about? It's one of the weeks we're doing Fantastic Four, the first 25 issues of Ryan North's run. Very excited about that. And get to check out the book with my friends. And also getting Spawn Kills Every Spawn, coming out in a trade paperback format. This is collecting Spawn Kills Every Spawn, 1 through 5, $16.99. From Dark Horse Comics, we're getting Sparks Volume 2, Royalty, by Rebel Guts. This is 176 pages, $19.99. 10,000 Ink Stains, a memoir. This is a memoir of none other than Jeff Lemire. So Dark Horse Comics is publishing this. This is 192 pages, $54.99. Bandette, Volume 5, The Wedding of B.D. Belgi. And I'm totally butchering that. This is by Paul Tobin and Colleen Coover. And this one is $17.99 and coming out in a hardcover format. We are also getting, from the world of Boom Studios, Hello Darkness, Volume 2. Becky Cloonan's cover right there. Wow. Garth Ennis and James Tynion, the fourth. This is collecting issues 5 through 8. So it's an anthology series. I didn't know this was coming out. Okay. I'm now intrigued. From the world of manga, we are getting After God, Volume 5. That's being published by the folks over at Viz. Alpi, the Soul Sender, Volume 7 from Titan Manga. Climber, Volume 2. It's one of my buddy Gio. One of his most wanted books, and my buddy Tina, TikTok Tina. This is being published by Viz. $22.99. Hiroshi Takano and Shinchichi Sakamoto. do love that dude's artwork. $22.99. Dog's Red Volume 2 is coming out that very same week. That's being published by the folks at Viz. We're getting Full Night Volume 5 coming out that very same week. And that's being published by Viz. I kind of dig that cover. Simplicity, but kind of coolness to that cover. Haikyuu. Oh, I keep forgetting they're doing these in 3-in-1s. The Haikyuu 3-in-1 edition, Volume 5 coming out. I remember my oldest daughter, Lydia, and her friends were obsessed with this series when they were like 11 years old. Yeah. Now she's 16. Time is a thief. Heart Gear coming out with a Volume 5. And that's being published by the folks over at Viz. And we're getting the I Tamed My Ex-Husband's Mad Dog Volume 3 coming out that week from the folks at Easy Press. We're getting Idol Story Volume 2 coming out that week from 7 Seas Entertainment. And I'm in Love with an Older Girl Next Door. And that is coming out, that's a Volume 2 coming out from 7 Seas Entertainment. Insomniac After School Volume 10 coming out from Viz Media, as well as One Punch Man, One Punch 31 coming out that week. And we're also getting the Radio Storm Volume 1 that very same week, and that is being published by the folks over at Issei Press. Tokyo Alien Bros is coming out with a Volume 3 that very same week, and that title is awesome. There is a Spice and Wolf collector's edition that is coming out. I don't think it's a manga. I think it's just the book itself, but I could be wrong. This one is $22 and it looks absolutely stunning. This is being published by Yen Press, by the way. It looks beautiful. Tower Dungeon Volume 1 is coming out that week, and that is being published over by the folks at Vertical. So they're still coming out with stuff. Vagabond, the Definitive Edition, Volume 3 is also coming out that week. And that one is still being published by Viz, $55. And The Most Notorious Talker Runs the Greatest Clan. That is being published by 7 Seas Entertainment, $13.99. Fantagraphics is publishing Brain Damage in a hardcover format, and that is by Kago, and coming out here in America for the very first time. And they're also getting, or to wrap up the manga for this week, we're also getting Barefoot Gen Omnibus Volume 1, now being published by Last Gasp. This is Keiji Nakazawa's masterpiece. And it is horrific, beautiful, tragic, yet very important to read. That one will definitely be in my top reads or suggestions, as much as some people can't stomach stories like that. From other publishers, we're getting Beneath coming out in a trade paperback format. And we are also getting Bloody Mary graphic biography coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks over at Andrews McNeil. We're getting Amazing Ash and Superhero Ama coming of age from the folks at Difference Engine. From Rebellion 2000 AD, we're getting The Haunting of Jilly Johnson from Raphael Bussom Clau. And this one is $17.99, and that artwork just looks absolutely stunning. Iron Maiden, Where Is Eddie, is coming out in a softcover format, as well as Jazzy the Witch. This is a graphic novel. Broom Doom. Cool Keith, the crossover of the Flower Cosmic, is coming out that very same week. And we're also getting the New Adventures of Moana hardcover, or Moana 2, hardcover Volume 1, Born to Voyage. Peanuts, All This and Snoopy 2 is coming out in a trade paperback format. That is being published by the folks over at Fantagraphics. And we're getting the Peanuts Game Day box set coming out from the folks at Fantagraphics. This is a hardcover format. We're getting Quested Volume 2 from the folks at Massive. And this looks to be a restock. Raging Clouds is coming out in a hardcover format, and that is being published by the folks at Fantagraphics. We're also getting Rosalie Lightning graphic memoir coming out that week, and that is being published by the folks over at Street Noise Books. It is a softcover, as well as The Society is Nick's Gleeful Anarchy at the Dawn of the American Comic Strip, 1895 to 1915 revised edition, and that is a hardcover being published by the folks at Fantagraphics. It is $100, and man, that looks absolutely like it's up my alley. Spectrum is coming out in a trade paperback, and that is being released that very same week, as well as The Theory of Ko coming out that week. And that is a volume 1. Wake Up Pixoto is coming out that week, and that is also a volume 1, as well as... no, that's a standalone. The Will Eisner, a comics biography, coming out in a hardcover format, and that one is being published by NBM. PS Art Books is releasing the Shock Magazine #1. That one is $22.99. And if you're interested in purchasing any of the books I've talked about so far and you live in the EU, check out our next sponsor.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code Near Mint Condition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
Amazing Spider-Man, The 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, is what kicks off the week of July 22nd or 23rd. This is the series that takes place immediately after the Zeb Wells run. It collects Amazing Spider-Man 61 through 70, and it is written by Joe Kelly, who eventually will take over the book. And this is Ed McGuinness doing the artwork for this particular series. 304 pages, $34.99. The kickoff to the Marvel Archive edition is this week, and that is with Amazing Spider-Man, The Black Costume Saga. Year 1 Gallery Edition. There are 3 different covers for this book, and each one of these retailing for $125. And collecting Amazing Spider-Man 252 to 263, the facsimile edition. So all the house ads, all of the letter pages, done in the trim size of a gallery edition. And I've showed off a YouTube short of it already, how big it is. But the paper stock is different than the glossy paper stock they're using for the Omnis. It feels more like the Atlas era Fantagraphics book, the Al Williamson book. It's not quite matte. It's not quite glossy. It's somewhere in between, but still has it doesn't have like a high gloss finish to it. But they are doing it sort of like the paper stock that was released back then, which was like newsprint paper, while still fancy, if that makes sense. It is a beautiful, beautiful book, though. The Marvel Masterworks The Incredible Hulk Volume 19 is coming out that very same week, and that is the Bill Mantlo and our pal Sal era of The Incredible Hulk, collecting 280 to 291 of The Incredible Hulk, annual number 12, and The Incredible Hulk versus Quasimodo. 360 pages, $75. Star Wars Modern Era Epic Collection Yoda's Secret is the next Star Wars Epic Collection that is out, collecting issues 15 through 30 of Star Wars, as well as the annuals 1 and 2. This is the relaunch of Star Wars by Jason Aaron. This time around, we do have Kieran Gillen writing some of the stories in here. And I want to say this is the Leno Francis Yu era and Mike Mayhew era of Star Wars after John Cassaday had left the book. The West Coast Avengers Volume 1 by Jerry Dugan is the next book up, and that is The Gospel of Ultron, collecting the 5-issue miniseries. No, this is an ongoing series, sorry. 120 pages, $17.99. Wolverine Goes to Hell or Volume 2 of the Jason Aaron Wolverine era. Both covers available the same day. Collecting Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine 1 through 6, Wolverine 1 through 20, 5.1, and then when it went back to the legacy numbers of 300 to 304, and then the X-Men Schism 1 through 5 in its entirety, and material from Wolverine Road to Hell number 1. Schism has been available in deluxe edition and trade paperback, and I remember when people were like, "Where's your Schism?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I already have it in my Wolverine Goes to Hell." Where's that book? Right there. Why am I pointing? Like, you can see it because there's... Sorry about that. That's on me. The book has 984 pages and retails for $125. X Factor by Peter David, Omnibus Volume 4. Wrapping up his run on X Factor. Collecting X Factor 233 to 262. All new X Factor 1 through 20. X-Men Legends 5 through 6. And this one has 1,152 pages, $125. And if you've not read this phenomenal series, this is part of the ending of the X Factor Incorporated series, and also the beginning of the all-new X Factor. And man, it really sucks that he's gone. That we'll never have another great era by someone like him, writing these characters of Lex and Lorna. And anyway, it's a phenomenal ending. It goes in ways I didn't expect it to go, and I hope people enjoy it if you're reading it for the first time. And from the world of DC Comics, we're getting the DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos. This is written by David Dastmalchian, who has written comics before. Count Crowley is like one of my favorite books that he is currently writing over at Dark Horse Comics. Juan Ferreira doing the artwork, who is killing it on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But this collects the 6-issue miniseries of the Creature Commandos. And of course, it became a cartoon, but not really based on this. This is kind of its own thing. Nightwing by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo Omnibus Volume 1 is coming out that week. Collecting Nightwing 78 through 100, Urban Legend number 10, Nightwing 2021 Annual number 1, and Superman Son of Kal-El number 9. 624 pages, $100. Superman City of Tomorrow Compendium is coming out. This is the beginning of the Jeff Loeb and Joe Kelly era of Superman. Mark Schultz writing some of the stories in here, Ed McGuinness, and you have Doug Mankey. But this is this is the era that takes place after the Triangle years. We've got a long way to get there before the Volume 3. Is that the new one that's been announced? Or no, Volume 2. You all voted for Volume 3 of the Triangle years. Yes. So we got a long way to get there. From the world of Image Comics, we are getting Monstrous, the hardcover Volume 3. Looks like it was resolicited for this particular month, and it is $49.99. Patchwork Girl of Oz is a trade paperback, Volume 1. So this is the Frank Baum's original Land of Oz with the Patchwork Girl of Oz. This is from Otis Frampton, and it collects issues 1 through 5, $12.99. Looks like an all-ages type of book. Dark Horse is giving us the Living Hell book, coming out that very same week. And that is by Caitlin Yarsky. I really like her artwork. Collecting issues 1 through 4 of Living Hell. She is both the writer and artist, 120 pages, and $19.99. Welcome to the Maynard, and this is by James Robinson, who I'm big fan of James Robinson. And Jay Bone is the artist, and this collects Welcome to the Maynard 1 through 4. 120 pages, $19.99. From the world of IDW Comics, we are getting Best of My Little Pony Volume 4. Pinkie Pie. Jeremy Wheatley, Tom Zahler, Ted Anderson, Kate Sharon are just some of the creators in here. And collecting stories from My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic 86, 94, 95, and My Little Pony Micro Series number 5. My wife, when she saw this, was like, yes, I want that. I love that. She still loves this era of My Little Pony. I remember watching it with our kids when they were really young. 96 pages, $8.99. So there's got to be like a huge fan following for that. Godzilla's Monsterpiece Theater by Tom Scioli. This collects issues 1 through 3 of the Godzilla Monsterpiece Theater. 152 pages. It is a paperback for $21.99. Dynamite! Keep in mind, Dynamite is in the works of now distributing through Lunar, so that's why some of these books, a lot of the books are getting delayed because they're no longer with Diamond. And a lot of the books, like I mentioned at the beginning, might be delayed. Not just Dynamite books, like we're looking at Johnny Quest Volume 1, Red Sonja Volume 3, The Master's Falls. So I do talk about it on my Saturday live streams. I mean, it's no secret that Diamond owes a lot of publishers money, and we're talking millions of dollars. Who knows if they'll ever get that back. Plus, their stock is still at the Diamond warehouse, and publishers are like, we need our books out, but we're not getting paid. So it's a very, very difficult decision. Terminator hardcover volume 1, Out of Time. Again, could be out that week. I'm very much looking forward to it. I hope they do find, or Lunar is able to publish the books out on time. Titan Comics is releasing Heatseeker Combustion, a Gun Honey series, trade paperback. And there are 3 covers for this one. So you have your standard edition cover, you have a David Nakayama cover, and that's your first direct market cover, and then you have the Derek Chu cover. It's your second direct market cover. Lenore, the Time War, is coming out that week, and that is a hardcover collection, and that one will be available in a direct market cover as well. $24.99. From the world of manga, we have Misanthrope Teaches, a class for demi-humans, coming out that week. And that is being published by Yen Press. Allmark is coming out that very same week, and that's being published by Yen Press. We are also getting Bocce the Rock comic anthology coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks over at Yen Press. And Double the Trouble, Twice as Nice, Volume 1 coming out that week, and being published by the folks over at Yen Press. Guillotine Bride, wow, what a title. The Guillotine Bride, Volume 1 is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Yen Press. We're also getting JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Steel Ball Run, hardcover Volume 2 from the folks over at Viz. And Hell Difficulty... wait, hold on. I'm sorry, let me get the full title. Hell Difficulty Tutorial. It is a light novel, Volume 1. Level Up with the Gods is coming out that very same week, and that's being published by Yen Press. That is a Volume 1. Little Miss Vampire Can't Suck Right, Volume 1 is coming out that week. Keep it professional. Come on now. Keep it professional. What the hell's wrong with you? Lycoris Recoil, official comic anthology, is coming out that week. I really like that series. Kind of reminded me of, what was it, Noir? It was a 90s anime that I really enjoyed. Monster Tribe, Volume 1 is coming out that very same week, and that is being published by the folks at Yen Press. We're also getting the One Piece Heroines, Volume 2. It's continuing that series, as well as the Ponyo film comic all-in-one edition hardcover. We've seen that before with, was it Nausicaa, I think? That they're taking, it's the actual animations, like, shots and putting them in, like, a comic book format. And this has been doing that for years, but I think that's something that they've released over in Japan, too. Strategic Lovers Volume 3 is coming out from the folks at Yen Press. That one is $13. That's by Sansho Kwamido, the mangaka on that particular book. Super String Marco Polo's Travels the Multiverse, Volume 1 is coming out that week. Suzuki-kun's Mindful Life, Volume 1 is coming out that very same week. As well as the Toilet Bound Hanoko-kun, Volume 22. My buddy TikTok Tina absolutely loves that series. And we're getting the Toxic Super Beast Volume 2 coming out that week. And the Big Ubel Blah Volume 3 coming out from Yen Press. $55 for that beautiful hardcover. You Will Be My Wife is coming out that week from Steamship Entertainment. Or just Steamship Comics. Thought for a second it was Ghost Ship. Nope, it is Steamship. And we are also getting the Agent Volume 4. Now, this is the new printings of the book, but they're bigger format. This is the Agent Demi-Human Complete Volume 4 by Gamon Sakurai, $24.95. From other publishers, we're getting Alley Oop and the Beanstalks graphic novel coming out that week. It is printed in a landscape format, as well as the Alley Oop and the Swords of Genghis Khan. And I'm sorry, that is just one sword of Genghis Khan, not Swords of Genghis Khan. Aeon at the End of Time, Judgment Has Its Fury hardcover. This is from the folks over at Gungnir Entertainment. Cupid's Arrows hardcover volume 2 is coming out that week, as well as Everything Sucks, Kings of Nothing trade paperback. And we're also getting the Evil-ish from Fuel and Friends. That is $17.99. We are getting the Falling Awake graphic novel coming out from Afterlight Comics, $34.99. And Fate of the Winx Saga, Volume 2 is coming out that very same week, as well as Flash Gordon Quarterly Collection trade paperback, Volume 1 coming out that week. That one looks awesome. Fool's Gold, Volume 1, Death by Karaoke, is coming out from Gallery Publishing. Magical History Tour 3-in-1 hardcover, Volume 3, is coming out that very same week. We are also getting the Marshall Rogers Brightest Days, Darkest Nights coming out in a hardcover format, as well as the Peanuts All Year Round mini collection coming out that very same week. And that one is released in, I think that is a hardcover format. And Planetary Expansion trade paperback volume 1 is coming out that very same week, as well as, that one is Critical Entertainment that is releasing that for $29.99. We are getting the Punicorn and the Princess of Thieves hardcover, published by the folks at Clarion Books, and also the Quinelope and the Unicorn Utopia. That one is being published by Oni Press. We are getting the Savage Volume 1 coming out that week from the folks over at 10 Ton Press. And that one is a 1 of 5, and it is $20. And Something Crawled Out, a complete series, is coming out that very same week. Tales of the Bazaar is coming out in a trade paperback format, and that is by Dren Productions After Dark. It is a volume 1, $22.99. Super Humanity trade paperback volume 1, Super Australians. It's an awesome title. My buddy Omnibus watching this? I hope you are. It's published by IPI Comics. $19.99 for that book. Terminal Exposure is coming out from New York Review Comics. It is a hardcover. Magnificent Volume 2, The New Dog in the Den, is coming out in a trade paperback format. We are also getting Women with 50 Faces hardcover, Maria Lanni and the Greatest Art Heist That Never Was. I love that title. That Never Was. As well as the Age of Video Games Graphic History of Gaming coming out that week. And that particular book is being published by the folks at Andrews McNeil. It is $19.99. Titan Comics is releasing Hawk Moon, the Black Jewel, in a hardcover format. This is from Jerome Legris and Benoit Delac. $19.99. PS Art Books, Classic Sci-Fi Comics Softie Volume 9 is what's wrapping up this week. This has a lot of great work in here by Basil Wolverton. $32.99, and it collects stories from Space Hawk 17 through 34, Amazing Man comics featuring Meteor Martin 25 and 26, Weird Mysteries 2 and 5, and Weird Tales of the Future 4 through 7. So we're looking at comics from like 1941 to 1953. And again, it is a softcover format. We are kicking off the last week of July, the 29th or 30th, with Avengers West Coast Epic Collection Vision Quest. This is the new printing, the book that you all voted for, collecting West Coast Avengers 38 through 46, Avengers West Coast 47 through 52, same title, I promise. West Coast Avengers Annual 3, Avengers West Coast Annual 4, material from Avengers Spotlight 23. The book has 488 pages and retails for $54.99. Captain America by Mark Gruenwald, Omnibus Volume 2. This is collecting Captain America 351 to 386, Captain America Annuals 9 and 10, Adventures of Captain America 1 through 4, material from Daredevil Annual 7, and Punisher Annual number 4. Both covers available the same day, 1,288 pages, $150. This is the continuation of Mark Gruenwald's phenomenal run on Captain America. And in here, you are going to see the Bloodstone Saga, more of the Serpent Society, but the big return here is Diamond Pack. And she comes back as either a friend or a foe. I love this era. It's my favorite Captain America run. Oh, and the Supreme Stratagem is in here too, the Nick Fury story. Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood coming out in a trade paperback edition, collecting Marvel Zombies Black, White, and Blood 1 through 4. It is an anthology series with Marvel Zombies, you guessed it. $136, $17.99. And also that week is the Spider Society Enter the Spider-Versers. Spider-Versers. Alex Segura is one of the creators on here, with Steve Godlewski and Salvador La Roca, collecting Spider Society 1 through 4 from 2024, Web of Spider-Man 2024, number 1. The book has 136 pages and retails for $17.99. Thor Epic Collection, The Dark Gods. Not a modern era Epic Collection, although some series started at the modern era during this time, but we know that JMS's run. This is collecting the Dan Jurgens era, Thor 1 through 13, Rough Cut Silver Surfer Thor Annual 1998, Thor Annual 99, Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man number 2. Or no, it's just Peter Parker Spider-Man number 2. Sorry, not Spectacular Spider-Man. 480 pages, $54.99. And this is when we're getting X Factor by Peter David Omnibus Volume 1, the new printing. Collecting X Factor 55, 70 through 92, X Factor Annual 7 and 8, Incredible Hulk 390 to 392, material from X Factor Annuals 5 and 6, and New Mutants Annual number 6. The book has 848 pages and retails for $100. X-Men Hellfire Gala. This is collecting Marauders 21. So it's collecting all 3 of the Hellfire Galas. Remember, there wasn't a Hellfire Gala miniseries or one shot at the very beginning. It was just a big event that was taking place during different issues of the X-Men series of Krakoa. So Marauders 21, X-Men 21, Planet Size, X-Men number 1, Sword 6, X-Men Election Strips, Equality, Overserved, The Best Defense, Popularity Contest, New X-Men. I don't think those have been collected before. I think those are the digital comics. Classic X-Men number 7, Out with the Old. X-Men Hellfire Gala number 1, the 2022 series. Secret X-Men 1. X-Men Unlimited Infinity comic. Some of these I don't think have been collected. 50 through 55 and 100 through 105. X-Men Hellfire Gala Confessionals. Get Out the Vote. Small Chance. Disqualifications. They're Lost. Never Say Never. Free Comic Book Day 2022. Avengers X-Men number 1. The X-Men Story. Amazing Spider-Man 2022 number 9. X-Men Hellfire Gala 2023 number 1. Hellfire Gala Last Rites. Grounded Generations Flawless. Free Comic Book Day 2023. Avengers X-Men number 1. Avengers X-Men Stories, and Invincible Iron Man number 8, plus the Hellfire Gala variants. 548 or 44 pages, $50. From the world of DC Comics, we are getting the Creature Commandos presents Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, Book 2. I love that they're continuing these. Jeff Lemire, Ibrahim Robertson working on the book, as well as Matt Kent and Alberto Ponticelli. The book collects Agent of Shade 0, 8 through 16, Creatures of the Unknown, which is part of the Flashpoint, Frankenstein and the Creatures of the Unknown 1 through 3, and Young Monsters in Love number 1. $29.99. Harley Quinn Volume 1, Destructive Comics. This is collecting issues of Harley Quinn 44 through 49. It is by Elliot Kalan and Mindy Lee. Justice League International Book 2, Around the World. This is a new printing of an old trade paperback. So if you don't want to get the Omnis, you don't want to wait for the DC Finest, whenever that will be, you can pick it up in this format. 576 pages, $39.99. That almost feels like a compendium. Superman by Kurt Busiek, Book 2. This is a standard size hardcover, and it's not just the work of Kurt Busiek, but also Femini Ciesa. You've got beautiful artwork in here. Oh, man. Carlos Pacheco. Has Action Comics 850, 852 to 854. Superman 659 to 675, 712. Wow, that jumps around quite a bit. Oh, because he comes back for that story. And then Superman Annual 13 and New Year's Evil number 1. So we've had a Volume 1, came out a couple of years ago, and now we're getting a Volume 2. 720 pages, $49.99. Superman by Philip Kennedy Johnson, Omnibus, Volume 1. And this is collecting Action Comics 1029 to 1049. Superman 29 through 32. The Infinite Frontier 0. Superman and the Authority 1 through 4. Superman Son of Kal-El 16 through 18. Action Comics 2022. Annual number 1. Batman Superman Authority Special number 1. Superman World Apocalypse number 1. Plus, it comes with this freaking journal. I talked to the collected editions department at DC, and they told me that they're including the entire journal that Superman kept while he was on World. So, Michael Conrad, Becky Cloonan, Dan Sampier, Michael Avanoming are some of the creators behind this. 1,080 pages, $125. Superman's Pal. The Terrifics is coming out in a complete collection. If you've missed out on it, it is such a great, underrated series. Jeff Lemire, Yvonne Reyes, and Jin-Luen Yang, Steven Segovia, and Doc Shaner doing the work on this particular book. So not just featuring Mr. Terrific, but other characters within the DC universe. This came out of DC Metal. I think it spun out of the DC Metal whenever we got this. The first mission is to find Tom Strong. Like, Tom Strong within the DC universe. It's awesome. It's a great series. I don't know if it'll make it in my top 13. I really like it. It's going to be hard deciding what makes it and what doesn't. But anyway, that one is 760 pages, $59.99. That's a great deal. I Hate Fairyland is what we're kicking off Image Comics with for the last week. Volume 8. This is a trade paperback by Scotty Young. Joined by Brett Bean, collecting I Hate Fairyland Volume 2, issues 16 through 20, $16.99. We are also getting the Proof Compendium. It was delayed. I think it was supposed to come out sometime in May, but it's been moved until July. And Standstill, the hardcover, is coming out that very same week. But this is a landscape format right here. This is by Lee Loufridge and Andrew Robinson and collects Standstill issues 1 through 8. Dark Horse Comics, we are getting The Witcher, A Question of Price coming out that week. $17.99 for this hardcover. That is 56 pages. We're also getting Renegade Royale from Ben Kahn and Rachel Silverstein. This is 120 pages, $19.99. It is a trade paperback. And speaking of trade paperbacks, the latest trade paperback from Jupiter's Legacy Volume 6 Finale is coming out. That cover there by Tommy Lee Edwards is awesome. It is by Mark Miller and Tommy Lee Edwards, collecting Jupiter's Legacy Finale, issues 1 through 5. 144 pages, $19.99. Chibi Usagi Attack of the Heebie-Chibis. That's adorable. The expanded edition. $14.99. 184 pages. And in here is the works of Stan Sakai and Julie Sakai. The latest Mark Millar Library Edition drops this day, and that is the King of Spies Library Edition. Collecting King of Spies 1 through 4. This one has 152 pages, $49.99. Mature audiences. From the world of Boom Studios, we are getting the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the Pink Ranger Deluxe Edition. I'm really excited to read this one because it is co-written by Amy Jo Johnson, who played the original Pink Ranger. And I know the history comes originally from Japan with Sentai, but kids in America grew up with Power Rangers. They didn't know anything about Sentai. They didn't know anything about the Japanese footage. They just knew Power Rangers. And to a lot of kids, Amy Jo Johnson was like their first crush. I remember both of my brothers were watching this, and I was like, man, that Pink Ranger's pretty cute. But then, like in season 2, I didn't even watch the show, but season 2, Aisha came on. Woo! Boy, that, she was, almost made me watch Power Rangers when I was in high school, but I was like, Anyway, what the hell am I saying? I'm excited to read this. Boy, I hope she don't watch this show. 320 pages, $75. It collects Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Return 1 through 4, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Pink 1 through 6, reimagined from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 30th Anniversary Special, and a brand new short story like they do with most of these deluxe editions. Fence Challengers is coming out that week by C.S. Pacat and Johanna the Mad. And this is collecting Fence Challengers Longshot and Fence Challengers Sweet 16. $14.99, 112 pages. And from the world of IDW, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Nation Volume 1 is coming out that day by Tom Waltz, Eric Burnham, featuring Casey Jones. This is collecting the Monster Island story from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Alpha and Mutant Nation issues 1 through 5. $21.99, 208 pages. So is this set in the new, or in the aftermath? Follow Raphael on a lone adventure that picks up after issue 150. That's what I needed to know. Thank you so much, Internet. My Little Pony, the main omnibus. This is collecting classic stories of My Little Pony. Oh, I'm sorry, the classic characters of My Little Pony. And 472 pages, $24.99. The Art of Smurfs is coming out. 200 pages, $9.99. And it looks to be like a landscape format type of book. From the world of Dynamite Comics, we are getting Red Sonja, Empire Damned trade paperback, as well as the Sweetie Candy Vigilante Volume 2. And wow, that cover, that's by Ivan Tao. That one is $19.99. From the world of manga, we are getting Betrayed by Hero, Formed a MILF Party Volume 2. Yes, this book. Oh, hell yes. Betrayed by... Whew, keep it together. Betrayed by the hero, I formed the MILF party with his mom. Is that what his mom looks like? Ishino Yasan and Makoto Kuon are the creators behind this. $14.99. I swore if I got that, I would read it. And I am a man of my word. Cat Crazy Volume 1 is coming out from the wonderful folks at Dark Horse Comics. It's the same mangaka that did the Cat Gamer manga. And we're also getting Gunsmith Cats Omnibus Volume 2. Very excited about that. Continuation of Minnie May and Raleigh Vincent in Chicago. $29.99 by the phenomenal Kenichi Sonoda. We are also getting the Heaven Officials Blessing box set coming out that week. And that is being... It's actually... I like the design of that box. That one is being published by Aloha Comics, $149. Trying to see how many volumes it is, but it looks like it's only 6. Maybe they're oversized. I'm not quite sure. Ichi the Killer Omnibus is coming out that very same week. And that is a huge deal. That is from 7 Seas Entertainment. I'm very much looking forward to this. I've seen the movie. I never had the chance to read the original manga that inspired the movie. This is by Hideo Yamamoto. So I am very, very looking forward to that particular manga. Being a fan of the movie, oh man. Finally, the Planetes Deluxe Edition Book 1 is coming out that very same week. If you're a fan of Vinland Saga and space, look no other than this book. Coming out in a beautiful deluxe edition. I've had an early copy on, by the time you're watching this, that early overview has already dropped. Hit that like button. Hell, hit that like button anyway. Thank you. But anyway, this one is $49.99, and it is the latest deluxe edition. And by now, you should also know what the next deluxe edition from Dark Horse Comics is. I swore a secret. I ain't saying nothing. But you'll know by now when you're watching this later. Right? Is that the way it works? If you're watching this, the recap later. Oh, it's for the recap, you'll know. If you're watching this on Friday, you ain't knowing. That's it. That's not even proper English. Anyway, boy, that's a weird time loop. All right. Shindo Kun's Tight Squeeze Volume 1 is coming out that week. And that is being published by the folks at Steamship. We're also getting Terror Man Volume 4 coming out that very same week. Being published by the folks at Ablaze. Witches of Adamas is coming out that very week. And that is by Ghost Ship Entertainment. Wow. Witch of Mine 1 through 4 box set is coming out from Ablaze. That looks absolutely stunning. That one is $64.99. And Todora Volume 12 is coming out from the folks at 7 Seas Entertainment. I love this anime. I've never got a chance to read the actual manga it's based on, though, by Yuyuko Takemiya and Zekio, the mangakas behind that book. Jiro Taniguchi's Distant Neighborhood is coming out in a hardcover format. This is being published by Fanfare Presents. And that one is $28. And to wrap up the manga for that week from Kodansha Comics, we're getting Gaetima, the Gigantus, Volume 2. And that is by Kent. This one is $13.99. From the world of other publishers, we are getting Aw Nuts, the Crumbelievable Adventures of Peanut Butter and Jelly in a hardcover format. We are also getting Aurora Volume 1 coming out that very same week. And that is being published by the folks over at Andrews McNeil. That one is $18.99. Blake and Mortimer, the complete collection, coming out that very same week. This is the Volume 4 from Cinebook, $39.99. It is a hardcover format. From Viking Books for Young Readers, we are getting Raven Boys. And this is by Maggie Steve Vater and Stephanie Williams. $17.99 for that particular book. Death Be Damned is coming out in a hardcover format from the folks at Ablaze Publishing. I really love that cover. That is by A.J. Bernardo, Noel Pascual, and Mike Alcazaren. $29.99. We are getting the Dragon Kingdom Volume 12, Restless Ruins, from Little Simon. Dune Book 1 is coming out with a new printing from Abrams Comic Art. And we are also getting the Gotcha Man Only One Earth trade paperback. I'm really enjoying that series. The Golden Age Classics, The Spirit Softy, is coming out that week. And that is, of course, Will Eisner with Lou Fine. This one is $32.99, collecting The Spirit 13 through 17. So these are 1948 to 1949 books. Guardian of the Sky Realms trade paperback volume 1 is coming out. The Sky Realm Chronicles. And we're also getting the Hardstyle Juice volume 1 that is being published by Ablaze by Clay McCormick and Ricardo Lopez Ortiz. $19.99. I dig that cover too. We're getting the Huge Detective Volume 1 from the folks over at Titan Comics. It's by Adam Rose, Magneta King, and Diego Yapur. Collecting Huge Detective 1 through 5, $19.99. Judge Dredd, The Complete Case Files, Volume 25 is coming back to print. This one was already collected, but this one is $32.99. We are getting Liquid Kill from Massive Entertainment. Both covers available the same day. Max Hoven, Aaron Crow. And this one is $16.99. It looks like they're probably going to be distributing through Lunar now. Masks is coming out in a trade paperback format from Andrews McNeil. Misery of Love is being published by the New York Review Comics. And we're getting the PS Art Books Classic Horror Comics Softie Volume 10 coming out that week. That's another one that's $32.99. And this collects the issues 14 through 18 of the Haunted Thrills. We are getting the Rome Eternal trade paperback Volume 1 coming out that very same week, as well as the Sesame Street Bert and Ernie Spring Cleaning, available in a hardcover format from the folks over at Oni Press. And to wrap up the week and the month of July of 2025, we are getting the Midnight Order. This is a new restock from Magnetic Press. $24.99. It looks to be the soft covers, an anthology of supernatural tales exploring the hidden world of the Midnight Order. Now, if you're interested in any of the books I talked about, don't forget to check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And those are your books that are coming out in July. Comments down below. Let me know what books you're picking up, what you're most excited for. Don't forget to come back on Sunday. I'll be doing my top probably 13 since there's 5 weeks in the month of July. And that is it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Smash that like button on the way out. Check out our Patreon where you can find the written documentation. Stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.